So I first started practicing yoga at my neighborhood yoga studio, which happened to be the hippest, funkiest, hottest yoga studio in New York City, but I didn't know anything about that. I just went and practiced yoga. Now, I had lived in New York before this, so I knew how cool everyone in New York was and that I wasn't that. I grew up in Massachusetts. I had just recently moved back to the city from years as a ski bum in Montana. So I was cool with it. The women there were gorgeous and Gumby, and they were models and actresses and dancers and singers and tattooed and just cool hipsters. And they would wear like monoloblahniks to class in the changing room, or they would wear Uggs, but they would wear them ironically. And I just knew that I didn't fit in with them. But it's okay, because yoga is just a personal path, and I just thought everyone would just be nice because they're all yogis and they're trying to be nice even if they weren't yet. I kind of thought that was the goal, but I didn't know anything about yoga at that time, and nobody really did. This was the 90s. It was before yoga was like Starbucks. So I would go to the studio every single day for like 9 months, every single day. And I think I had 2 conversations. One was with a woman at the front desk, probably like, you forgot to sign in. And the other one was in the dressing room, and I was like, excuse me, those are my sneakers. And literally that was it. Like, nobody talked to me. But I'm used to being an outsider, no problem. So I just, did my thing, did my yoga, which was all well and good until we had to do partner yoga. I hate partner yoga. You're in class and you're like in your Zen moment and you're on your mat and you're in your, space. And then you have to like break the fourth wall and talk to somebody else. And worse, they have to talk to you, and they're all cool and hip and Gumby, and you're like not, and you're like not flexible, and you're new to yoga, and they have to like, it's like the untouchables. They have to touch you and like be all Zen about it, like they're cool with it when they're not, and all the anxiety, and it's just like, oh, please let this be over. And then the guy on the mat turns around and he gives me that universal look of like, you want to be partners? And I gave him the universal look of like, thank God for saving me. So then he steps onto my mat, and it's Willem Dafoe. Zoinks. Okay, so no worries at all. And I'd been watching him throughout the class, and he's like really flexible. And if you've ever met a movie star, like they're much smaller. Like you see them on screen being huge and playing Jesus Christ and all kinds of, villains in different movies and stuff. And here he is on your yoga mat. And of course, the pose that we're going to do is Upavista Konasana. It's where you straddle your legs like this, and then you lean forward as far as you can, like this. So he's way more flexible than I am, so he straddles his legs, and my legs are like on his ankles, and he leans forward, and I hold his arms, and I'm holding just where the bicep kind of dips in and meets the shoulder there, and I'm holding Willem Dafoe in my arms. Okay. And he starts leaning forward and leaning forward and leaning forward and leaning forward and leaning forward. And bless his heart, he lays his head down on my thigh with his face turned away, thank you, from my groin. And I look around the room, and there's several other people in this position. Obviously, he's done this before, so okay. And so I can't really give him an adjust because he's lying flat down on the floor, so I'm just kind of massaging his back a little bit, and there's like a little tuft of hair that's kind of flipped up on his neck, and I'm like, I kind of want to smooth it down, but I feel like that's not really the right thing to do in yoga class. And I take a breath, and I like inhale his scent. It's like almonds and some kind of patchouli maybe, or incense. Anyway, I'm just feeling like this guy is so lovely and open, and if anyone had any right to be kind of snobby and standoffish, it would be Willem Dafoe, but he's not like that at all, like everybody else was at this yoga studio where all the hipsters practice. So then he sits back up, and now it's my turn to go forward, and I hold back onto his arms right where the shoulder meets the bicep in that little dip. And he's holding mine. My dip is not as big, but nonetheless. And he starts pulling me forward. And thankfully, I'm not very flexible. So I go forward, and he's holding me, and I just lean, and I'm looking in his eyes, and he's looking in mine. And that's as far as I go. And then it's kind of awkward, like I'm just staring at him. but I can't really close my eyes now, and I can't really look away, and it's just kind of awkward. So there I am, breathing and staring and breathing, and our breaths start to sync up, and his face is like a mandala, and he's just beautiful. And I'm staring at him, and it's like I'm seeing God, and I'm feeling God, and it's really weird. And I'm thinking, he's a movie star, he's an actor, he's used to like staring at the camera and seeing hundreds of thousands of people and connecting with them really deeply. But it's not that. It's just this incredible moment of connection. And of all the people in the studio, this one person looks at me and he sees me and I see him, and we allow that to happen between us. And it is so potent and so beautiful. And I think that's all really any of us want, is to be deeply, deeply seen and deeply accepted in anything that we do. Just one time even. So incredibly powerful. And that's namaste. That's the God in me sees the God in you. And here it was, right here. And that, then, is yoga.